Lost Art of Fishing Stories, written by Andrew Cox. Get your copy today. Go to Amazon and search The Lost Art of Fishing Stories. The Lost Art Project, Veteran Voices with Andrew Cox. Preserving history, one veteran story at a time. Marine Corps League and Till Valhalla Project Ambassador. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast that's given a voice to our veterans. The Lost Art Project, Veteran Voices with Andrew Cox. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Project, Veterans Voices. We're going to have one heck of a fireside chat for you tonight. But before we get into that episode, are you enjoying the podcast? And make sure you go to the website. That's thelostart.podbean.com. Go check us out, see what we're all about. There's a couple ways you can support us here at the podcast. You can always go to that website, click on the one-time donation link. You can also click on the Become a Patron link. That's a monthly donation. Heck, you can just go purchase some cool gear, or you can advertise right here on the podcast. Big shout out to the Till Valhalla Project out there doing amazing things. If you don't know anything about them, you need to go check them out. If you do know something about them, go check them out again. They're always putting up new stuff, always doing new things. But any way we can help support them would be much appreciated. You can find them at tillvalhallaproject.com. Are you a Marine veteran? Are you missing that bond you had on active duty? Then I have a place for you. Join the only congressionally chartered Marine Corps Veteran Service Organization, the Marine Corps League. Get that brother and sisterhood back in your life. Become one of the fewer, the prouder, a Marine Corps League member. All right, I got Mike from the crew here. I got our special guest, Jen. We'll just go ahead and go around and see how everybody's doing. Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Andrew.
Awesome.
Here in Southwest Georgia. It's been a busy week, but, it's definitely getting better climate-wise, man. It's cooling down.
Nice.
Everybody's like, well, it's still hot. And I was like, it's 80 degrees.
80 compared to what you were going through.
80,
really
heck
nice.
yeah. And go out there and walk outside in the morning, it's like 55 degrees. And I was like, yes. It's a heck of a lot nicer, man. It's definitely beautiful getting this, that time of year down in the South. So
yeah,
I enjoy it. I look forward to it.
Very nice. Very nice. I like it. Well, heck, we got our special guest here, Jennifer, and I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Could you say that for me?
Alarafi.
Alarafi? Okay, got it. But I got Jennifer Alarafi here. I'm excited to have you on, but, how are things where you're at?
Could be better.
Yeah. I understand that. How now I think you said you were in Oklahoma City, right? Or that area?
I'm in Norman.
In Norman?
Oklahoma.
Okay. Yeah.
Very hot here.
Yeah.
Still hot?
Still hot.
Oh, man.
Still Sunday, at least.
Yeah. Well, Jennifer, I want to kind of dive into your story a little bit, but if you don't mind, let's get some history behind it. Tell a little bit about yourself and your husband, and then we'll start walking through it.
Okay, my husband joined through the Army Reserves in 1987 and spent a year there, and then he transferred to the Oklahoma Army National Guard.
Okay.
Where he was a full-timer as well. And he worked there till 2018 when he retired.
Wow.
And I joined in the Indiana Guard to start with in 1988, and I got out right before 9/11 happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my husband passed away in July 21st, 2023.
Yeah. Now, if you don't mind, if we can kind of get into that a little bit, kind of what led up to those events as he went to the hospital and all those types of things.
He had been going downhill, and I was constantly finding problems with HIPAA stopping me from getting him help, medically speaking. And I even turned to the guard members that he worked with trying to get help, and nobody knew how to help him because of HIPAA. And I found him unresponsive that morning. And when we went to the hospital, I didn't realize how serious it was. I just found him unconscious. I didn't know what had happened.
Yeah.
And when I got to the hospital, they said, "You're going to have to wait in the waiting room. He's not ready to be seen yet." I said, "Okay." Turned around, took 2 steps. Some young girl comes running out of a set of doors, says my name. I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she says, "Come with me." She takes us through a different set of doors and takes us to family consultation.
Oh, wow.
And I said, "Oh my God," I used to work in the health field. So I said, "Oh my God, this isn't good. I'm going to call Jamil because he's a doctor. He can explain a little bit better than,
Yeah.
it's what I was
And
thinking."
now, Jamil, if you don't mind, explain who that is real quick.
Jamil is his brother, his half brother, who lives in Cleveland.
And a doctor. Yeah.
Yes. And he's a medical doctor in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay. So
I had Jamil on the phone, and we were trying to figure out what had happened. And they took us back to see him, and he was on life support. And I had very strict instructions by him that he was not to be on life support. But I went against those because his son was at basic training. So I told the doctor, I said, "Whoa, okay, I can worry about that later. I need to get my son home to see his dad."
Yeah, makes sense.
And she said, "Well, you have till Friday anyways, because on Friday we'll have to do a CAT scan to make sure he's not brain dead, or whatever scan they did to his head to make sure he's not brain dead. And they'd have to turn that machine off, life support machine off, to be able to do that." Then there was miscommunication that I was pulling the plug. And I'm like, pulling the plug and turning the machine off are 2 different things.
Yeah.
And the doctors even tried explaining to his family that those are 2 different things. We're turning it off so we can do that scan. Well, he ended up waking up.
Before the scan.
No, right after the scan.
Oh, right after. Okay.
The scan was done at noon on Friday, and he woke up at 1:00.
Oh, wow.
And he was talking to us. He was awake throughout the entire weekend. Throughout the week, though, I hadn't been told his diagnosis or anything that they were testing for. I wasn't given any information, which was upsetting his military friends and brothers. And on Friday before the scan, I walk in at 7 a.m. because that's shift change. So that's when I'm going to catch the doctors.
Right.
And my sister-in-law is sitting there with my son and a friend of hers that she served with.
Okay.
And I said, "That's odd. What are you doing here so early?" Because they weren't scheduled to turn the machine off till 8 a.m. is what we were told. She said, "Oh, I just wanted to see him before you do this thing this morning," which I guess made sense. I said, "Okay." The kidney doctor came in, or the liver doctor came in, and liver specialist came in and explained the procedure to us, explained it to her, even looked at her, said, "Do you understand what we're about to do today?" She said, "Yes." She gets up, walks past me, and then says, "I'm going to pray for you, and I respect your decision," and walks out of the room. Not even 20 seconds later, my brother-in-law from Cleveland is calling saying, "You're not turning that machine off today. And I'm going to stop you." And I told him, I said, "You can't tell me what to do, Jamil. You're not here
Yeah.
dealing with this." And I hung up. Then he blew up my phone to the point that I had to block him so I could talk to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that Sahar, I had texted her. I said, "Thanks for turning Jamil loose on me." She said the weirdest thing to me on text. She goes, "Well, Jamil's the one talking to the doctors."
Huh.
Excuse me? What?
Wow.
Why is he the one talking to the doctors? Why are they not talking to his wife, who is
Yeah.
bed? So I
Wow.
went to legal after the liver specialist left. I went to legal and stopped him from being able to make any more decisions or call and get updates or anything. And because it happened on a Friday, he wasn't able to do anything because the legal team booked right after that happened and was
Right.
off the entire weekend.
Yeah.
Come Monday, I get a phone call at 1:00 in the afternoon, and I'm told that he is in administrative lockdown. Nobody can see him. Nobody can get updates, or I couldn't get updates regarding his health care. And
that was from the hospital?
yes.
Yeah.
And so I called attorneys, and one attorney told me, that was from Oklahoma City, says, "I can't take your case, but I'm going to help you out on how to see your husband."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Okay." That was on Monday.
Okay.
On Tuesday, he said, then that was so late on Monday that on Tuesday, I had to wait till Tuesday to do this.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Call the hospital and tell them that you want your last rites. That will tell you if your husband is basically dying or not,
Right.
because they will not give you last rites unless he's dying."
Okay.
And they weren't telling me anything. So I called the hospital. I asked for last rites. 2 hours after that, I made that request. They gave me last rites for Wednesday afternoon from 4 to 5.
Oh, wow.
I had to share with my children
Mm-hmm.
and my stepchildren. And then I was supposed to have last rites on Thursday, but they had already taken the Foley bag off. He was on dialysis. He was on
Oh, wow.
every machine that you could think of, which is not the way he wanted to die.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "We can't handle seeing that. That's not what his wishes were. That's not what he wanted. I don't know why y'all aren't listening to me." I had durable power of attorney as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I refused to show it to the hospital because I knew that if I showed it to them, then they'd be hounding me to pull the plug,
Mm-hmm.
which I refused to do. And I had scheduled another last rites visit on Thursday afternoon, but they scheduled it from 4:30 to 5:30. Well, I'm military intelligence. Okay, why are you scheduling it during shift change?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. And why are you scheduling it on the half hour and not on the hour?
Mm-hmm.
So they got me real, questioning what's going on. So my daughter and I didn't feel comfortable going up there because they kept verbally attacking us, and they ended up attacking me on Sunday. And which the hospital called to ask if we were going to go see him for his last rites. I said no. We said our goodbyes yesterday. That's too hard on me and my daughter to see him like that. we're not going today.
Mm-hmm.
And I no more has hung up the phone, and a chaplain calls me and says, your sister-in-law's here. This was right at 4:30. Your
Mm-hmm.
sister-in-law's here, and she served us with emergency guardianship papers, and your rights have been taken away while your husband's in the hospital.
So in order to do that, though, they had to go to court, right?
Yes, sir, they did, but I was never told about this court date. And a small claims judge is the one that signed off on the emergency guardianship. And I guess there's a law out there, according to the people that you turn attorneys into here in the city, said there's some kind of loophole where if it's emergency guardianship, you don't have to subpoena the party that you're trying to take it away from.
No kidding.
Yep. Which I thought was
Wow.
against the Constitution because I thought I had a right to defend myself. I'm innocent till proven guilty, but not this time.
That's it. I've never heard of that. That's pretty wild. And now, is that a federal law? Is that a state law? What is that? Do you
No
know?
idea.
Huh.
But
Yeah,
you said you had paperwork and documentation.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And the attorney that did it, when she found out that my sister-in-law made him a DNR 2 hours after she got guardianship, she said, I would have never represented her had I known that, because that's how she got guardianship, was because she told the courts that I was trying to pull the plug on him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So come to find out, she's the one that went in and said, go ahead and pull the plug at that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
Holy
they
cow.
blocked me from getting the paperwork, his
Mhm.
medical records and all that. But luckily, and they banned me from getting treated by the hospital. And I'm not even allowed to go on the grounds of Norman Regional.
No kidding.
So if I have to go to the hospital, they have to take me all the way up to Oklahoma City,
Wow.
because they've banned me and my daughter from getting care there, which is also illegal, but they have done it. If I step foot into a Norman Regional Hospital, security will show up and escort me off the property.
Wow. I didn't know they could do that either.
They
Have you heard
can't.
of that, Mike?
They're not supposed to be able to.
That's what I'm asking. Who was able to do this? I mean, who did this?
Security with Norman Regional Hospital.
Yeah, but
Like,
who initiated it? Your sister-in-law?
no, what happened was on Sunday, that weekend that my husband was still conscious and speaking
Yeah,
to us,
yeah.
he wasn't allowed to get out of bed. So we had made the agreement that I would stay in the room. He would do his business in the bed, and then he could tell me when he was finished, and I could go get the nurse.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
could clean him up. Everybody else had left the room and gone into the waiting room. My daughter calls me on my phone and says, Mom, don't let Josh into the room. I said, why? She said, because he's angry and upset, and we just got into it, a big argument in the waiting room. I'm going to take a walk. I don't know where Josh went, but he's trying to get back there to see Dad. I said, okay, no problem. I go look down on my phone to end the call, look up, and my son is standing there in the doorway of my husband's room.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was in ICU. You can't get back there unless you're supposed to call the nurses station to even get back there.
Right.
But the employees were using the visitors entrance and not watching the door close behind them. So my son snuck in behind an employee.
Oh, wow.
And that's how he got back there.
Mm-hmm.
So then he starts yelling at me, why can't my wife see Dad? And I stood up and I put my arms on his, like right here on his shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, let's go talk about this in the waiting room. And he waves his arms back like this. and then takes 3 knuckles and punches me right in the middle of the chest.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you're not doing this in front of your dad. And I start pushing him out of the room. And the head nurse saw what was happening, heard what was happening, came around the corner. I tried to explain to him what was going on. I guess that the cleaning lady had seen the fight between my son and my daughter in the waiting room and had called security, but they had already went their separate ways by the time security got up there. So when security got up there, they thought that the fight was my son and I.
Right.
So they confused me for my daughter, and they started attacking me verbally, which triggered my PTSD. And they kept like, this guy was like 7 foot tall, and he was like inches from my face.
Right.
But that, I mean, this whole incident is what prevents you from going to the hospital?
Yes, because the security guard kept demanding that I leave. Well, I had to wait for my daughter to get back because I'm handicapped and she's the one that drove. So I had to wait for her to come back before I could leave. Well, they didn't care. My daughter finally gets back. The security guard is threatening to pick me up and throw me out of the hospital and all this stuff. He is literally standing over me, breathing down my neck, which caused a panic attack, and I was hyperventilating, which we asked for a paper sack so we can control it, and they refused to give me one till it was too late, and then it caused me to have a seizure on the floor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow. So, I mean, you're having a seizure on the floor. I'm assuming that at that point, the nurses and everybody, I mean, they had to help at that point, right? I would think.
No, they didn't. They put, I was unconscious, and according to my daughter, they put me in a wheelchair, even though she demanded that I be put on a backboard because they didn't know how I made it on the floor. And they refused to get a stretcher or a backboard or anything. And she worked for the hospital, so she knew the procedure. No, they went and got a wheelchair, and they dropped me 3 times trying to put me in the wheelchair. And then my daughter says the final one, they threw me in the wheelchair and then wheeled me down there with no head support.
Wow. And this is like right as you're having a seizure or right after you had a seizure?
After I had a seizure.
Yeah. Holy cow. Well,
they said that I was.
That seems to me that somebody messed out on the protocol of what was supposed to happen. It seems,
Well, my brother is having with the doctor that caused all this.
Yeah, if you're having a seizure, you would think that somebody would at least check and see if that's what was going on, right? Not just say, "Oh no, this is
my vitals." My daughter went to go check my vitals, and then the doctor shooed her hand away, I guess, and says, "I know what I'm doing," and refused to let my daughter check.
Wow. Wow. That is,
she just kept telling everybody, she's doing it for attention. I have lupus with mixed connective tissue disease. I suffer from seizures.
Yeah. And stress doesn't help that, I'm sure.
No, having a PTSD or hyperventilating type attack will trigger a seizure.
Wow. That's wild. Now sorry, my cat is roaming about. Apparently she wants to sit in my lap.
So that's what started this whole administrative lockdown stuff. And then my sister-in-law was also blocked because she was on my brother-in-law's side.
Okay. Yeah. So now at this point, then, like, fast forward back to after the court and all that stuff, like, kind of talk us through after that, what happened?
I didn't know that she had made him a DNR the night before. So all I had heard was that my rights had been taken away on Thursday at 5:00 when literally I hung up the phone and the chaplain called me and read the document to me. Then the next morning, the investigator called, and I was so shocked. I said, "Excuse me, what?" And she said it again. I said, "Ma'am, this is the first I've heard that my husband died." And she said, "Oh my God, call me Monday," and hung up. I no more hung up. With that phone call, my daughter calls me and says, "Mom, Dad died at 8:20 this morning."
Wow.
And this is at 11 o'clock.
Good. It took that long for you to find out.
Yeah, and then they wouldn't tell me where the body was. They wouldn't talk to me. They wouldn't tell me anything. Then he went to the ME and they ordered an autopsy and ordered hundreds, not just a few samples. They ordered hundreds of samples, sent them to the Mayo Clinic because of what my brother-in-law accused me of, all to come back negative and be told that he died exactly what I told them he had, which was a liver disease that he was born with.
Wow.
What were they accusing you of?
My brother-in-law first accused me of poisoning him with medical marijuana. I told the doctor, I said, it's physically impossible to overdose on marijuana. And when that, in fact, the marijuana in his system came back to, it could be explained that it's secondhand smoke because I do smoke. That's how little was in his system.
Right.
Well, when that came back negative, then, and you got to remember, I didn't know any of this at the time until I got the medical records almost a year later.
Oh, wow.
When I read the medical records, I'm finding out, and the ME report, I'm finding out that it went from the medical marijuana to rat poison. Then it went from rat poison to antifreeze poisoning. When that came back negative, then it had to be some kind of heavy metal, which I said, "Excuse me, my husband was a 3-time combat veteran. He flew over those burn pits, for God's sakes, multiple times a day for months."
Wow. And that
But
all of that obviously came back negative. Like there was
even
nothing
heavy
there.
metals came back negative. He was harassing the medical examiner so bad that when I called up there to ask a question about the type of liver disease that he had, she yelled at me and said, "He died of natural causes. Quit bothering me."
Wow.
Because she thought it was him.
Holy cow. That is wild. Man. Now, and you said it took, so after he passed away, it took a year to get his medical records. That's how long it took you to be able to, I guess, get everything squared away where you could get his medical records.
And the whole time, my VA patient rep refuses to contact me.
Wow. Holy cow. Now, did you go into like the VA centers, any of the centers and that type of thing?
I even went to Veterans Corner begging them to help me. And they said, "There's nothing we can do. We only do paperwork."
Wow. Holy cow.
And the bad thing is my sister-in-law is also a veteran. She worked for the VA.
Yeah.
That's why the VA patient rep wouldn't call me back.
Oh, wow. So she had said something to him and basically didn't want them to contact, or want them to contact you.
Right.
Wow. So it was a year later when you find out all the stuff that went down that you didn't even know. You know, so at this point,
and it's lucky that I got the records. The only reason why I got those records was because Norman Regional switched the company that transcribes the records.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And they said they would not hide something like that, and they gave me the records. And I was blown away when I saw that DNR. When I found out that she had ordered him as a DNR, we asked the hospital for his records. They sent me almost 2,000 pages worth of records. And I'm reading through the summary, and the summary says, family made the decision to make him a DNR. Now, you got to remember, my sister-in-law now has guardianship, so she's the one that made the decision to make him a DNR. Where's the DNR? I worked in the health field. That DNR should be on the very first page.
Interesting.
And they can't produce the DNR. And emergency guardianship does not give a person a right to make somebody a DNR.
So there had to have been, because you said your brother-in-law was a doctor, and he was obviously calling and getting the scoop from the doctors there. Like, how was he able to do that and get all that information? But his own wife is unable to get that information.
He went to medical school in Tulsa, and during his rotations, one of his rotations was with Norman Regional under that same doctor. So when I called him in the emergency room, he called his contacts and went that way through the back door using his.
Yeah, still a HIPAA issue, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
My wife's a nurse, and I'm not going to get into all that, but I'm just going to. I hear that all the time: is HIPAA.
Yeah,
it is.
Even in a family.
I've called
there's got to be close, it's like, hey, I give you authorization to talk to this person.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can do that.
I signed nothing. The only thing I signed was giving them permission to redo his feeding tube because they messed it up.
Oh, wow. Hey, real quick, Dan, I see you. Yeah, you're going to have to go back and watch it. You came in the middle, so you're going to have to go back and watch. Sorry, I had to let Dan know. Holy cow. This whole thing, taking a whole year to get it. And then once you got that, like, what is it that you're wanting to try to do to get done at this point? This far after your husband had passed away.
My husband was born with the liver disease, and the liver doctor had already told us that he would never be coming home.
Right.
That if he did pull through this, he would have to go to a VA center somewhere.
Right. Makes sense.
So I was prepared for that. It's what happened after that should have never happened. We had to have police escorts at his funeral because we were getting threats. Because my brother-in-law and sister-in-law were going on Facebook, which I have copies of that too, accusing me of poisoning my husband. Took 24 hours for Facebook to take it down.
Wow.
They had some party for him. Because of how this was all handled, they wouldn't tell me where his body was or anything like that. His military brothers and their families wanted to know what was going on, and I kept telling them, I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to figure it out. They thought I was lying to them, and I wasn't. I honestly did not know where he was even at yet. I was still trying to find his body when I was being accused of not sharing information with his military brothers. And his military brothers tried coming over here, breaking my house to try to get information out of me.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you can only tell people what you know. If you don't know
And
it,
then
you don't
they
know.
had some awful memorial for him and then didn't invite the family.
Oh, geez. Wow.
And my
That,
sister-in-law had my 2 disability checks from the military. She had those stolen out of my account by calling my
wow.
credit union. My son has blocked me access to one of my husband's accounts because he challenged me
Mm-hmm.
for the inheritance.
Wow. I mean,
Um,
it's pretty wild all the way around, you know. I mean, I don't know. It's just something that you like would see it on TV, right? That's what it seems like.
I feel like my life is a Lifetime movie right now.
Yeah. Lifetime movie. Wow. Well,
I was shocked when I saw that she made him a DNR. I was floored when I saw that.
yeah.
And I
Now,
still can't get the original police report because they refused to give it to me, even though I've tried the Freedom of Information Act.
I didn't know they could refuse that.
There's something in there that they don't want me to see. So they refused to let me have access to the original police report.
Yeah. Wow. And you're going and seeking legal advice and trying to get a lawyer and stuff like that to basically help
I
through all this
tried,
stuff.
but because it's Norman Regional, I'm and it veteran on top of it, nobody wants to pick it up.
Yeah,
Norman
that's
Regional is not a very good hospital here. They've got lots of problems, but no attorney will go up against them because they'll just tie it up in the courts for years and years and years.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. Well, hopefully there's somebody out there that would be willing to at least have a conversation with you, maybe take on a case and
what I'd
kind of
like
see
to
where
know
it
is,
goes.
who do you report HIPAA violations to? Because I called the local police. They say it's not their area. I called the sheriff. It's not their area. Called the FBI. It's not their area. I've called my senators, my representatives, everybody asking, who do you report HIPAA violations to?
Yeah.
And nobody can answer that question.
Mike, would you know that by chance?
My understanding, it's the state.
State of Oklahoma says it's somebody else.
I don't know who to tell you to. I mean, as far as I know, it's the state, because the state is actually responsible for the HIPAA violations, and they actually have to monitor them. And I couldn't, in good trust, tell you who. As far as I know, it's the state. I know it's a federal thing too, but the state is the one that ultimately monitors it. I don't know. I couldn't tell you in good faith.
So I just looked it up here. It says the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office for
Yeah.
Civil Rights.
Yeah, I
We
guess through the
contacted
state.
them and they told us that it wasn't their responsibility.
Well, according to the Google machine, that's what it's saying. Let's see, Department.
And I have tape recordings of all these people telling me this. I have hundreds of recordings. I have pictures. I have all the paperwork that they've allowed me to get so far, which is his medical records. I have his medical records, the ME report, and the only part of the police report that they would give me is the cover, which shows what time Jamil called the police on what day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Wow. Well, it does say in here, it says if you go online, you can use the OCR complaint portal for the fastest processing. So that's one way that you could do it. You could just go in and put it into their system. So that'd be the quickest way to report it, it says. But that's just a quick Google search. I don't know any of that stuff.
But I mean, who are the HIPAA violations against? I'm asking. I mean, I knew you were talking and I was listening, but I'm asking again.
Well, the funny thing is, Jamil hasn't seen his brother since December 2003.
And that's the brother that's a doctor.
Yes. He had
Okay.
not seen him physically in person since December 2003. And 15 out of the 20 years, he didn't speak to him either.
Okay.
Not even on the phone.
Hmm.
But yet the doctor let him make the medical decisions regarding my husband, while his wife is sitting bedside that was with him 24/7 year round.
Well, that's my thing, and I'm by no means an attorney. I have no idea about the legal aspect of any of this. But you and your
Basically, used a
husband,
medical degree to-
had legal documents.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm asking. You guys had legal documents. It's no different than, like, my mother, when she was with us and she was, in the hospital and was a nursing home, and, it was,
advanced directive.
yeah, I mean,
No, he didn't have an advanced directive or a DNR.
gotcha. That's what I'm asking. I'm not trying to be funny.
I
I'm
had
just,
power of attorney with strict instructions,
yeah, I
but
understand that. So did I. So did I. But
I
that's what I'm
broke those.
asking.
And when he came to out of the coma, he understood why I didn't follow through.
Yeah,
Thanks for the
yeah,
crayons, Brian.
yeah. I don't know legally. I don't know. I just know, like, from my mother, from that aspect, is, she had an advance directive and, a DNR and stuff like that. So I don't know. I couldn't even begin to tell you. I feel for you because I feel bad, and I know the feeling, but I don't know. Jan, Andrew, I don't even know what to say. I couldn't even.
Yeah. Well,
What I also find is 4 other people that deployed with him have had liver issues since this has happened.
Oh, wow.
I'm not saying it caused my husband's, because we know it didn't, but
Yeah.
the other, I mean, who's to say that those burn pits didn't speed up the process?
Yeah, that's a possibility, I would think. But I think for people that are listening, anybody out there, if you're a lawyer or you're somebody that knows anything about the legal side or the HIPAA side or anything of that nature, let us know. We can put you in contact with Jen. But trying to get her some help to kind of go through this on the legal side and also on the HIPAA side, just to kind of help her out and figure out what she can and can't do. That's what I think you need more than anything right now. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, man. What a tough situation to be in, and God bless you for being able to pull through it and continue to keep marching. So that's good on you. I can't imagine it, me personally, but yeah, hopefully we can find somebody out there to help you and give you some good advice or something of that nature. And yeah, we'll do what we can on our end.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Well, Jen, is there anything else that you would like to cover? Maybe something that we missed?
All I can say is it gets worse from there, regarding what happened to me afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you're going to come on and you're going to tell your story as well, your veteran story. And then is that when we're going to get into some of that stuff, or?
We can get into it tonight if you want.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. If you want to do it tonight or we can do it later, it's up to you.
Well, after my husband died and they started contacting people around, I don't know what made me do it that day, but it was in December, and I looked at my daughter and I said, we need to take you to Veterans Corner to figure out how to get your college benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm 100% disabled veteran.
Right.
So we went to Veterans Corner.
Mm-hmm.
Fred knew me personally, and he knew my husband personally.
Yeah.
And I guess I was meant to be there that day because Fred looks at me while we're checking out and he goes, Jen, aren't you married? I said, yes. And there was confusion as to why my daughter was even there. And they thought she was filing because of her dad. And we kept telling them, no, it's not her dad, it's me. There
Mm-hmm.
was all the confusion. So we finally get to Fred, and Fred's like, you're not going to believe this, Jennifer. And I said, please don't tell me. And he goes, no, no, no. Look, I'm going to show you. He showed it right in front of my face.
Mm-hmm.
My marriage certificate was gone out of my files. All my kids' birth certificates were deleted out of my files. They had switched me from widowed to single, never been married.
In the system?
In the system.
Wow.
And Fred goes, Jen, something's not right and you need to figure out what's going on. Well, I'm going to see my doctor during this time consistently because of what's going on. And he tells me that something's not right either.
Mm-hmm.
So he made appointments for me. They would get not canceled, but deleted out of the system completely. Anytime I showed up to the main VA in Oklahoma City, I wouldn't post on my social media where I was at or anything, but my sister-in-law would find me in the hospital.
How would she do that?
She works there. So she was getting into my files, deleted my marriage certificate, my birth certificate, my kids' birth certificates. She was deleting my appointments, my referrals, all of that, tied up my health care for 18 months while I was still fighting for my Social Security, disability, and get on Medicare.
Uh-huh.
And Oklahoma City VA, all they had to do to tell me about the repercussions of her was I need to hire an attorney.
That seems awful strange as well. That's another thing that you can report. If you report it, they have to investigate it. They have
I
to
did
try to
report
figure
it to
things out.
Muskogee, and Muskogee told him not to talk to me anymore,
What?
that they would only go through attorneys.
That all seems fishy to me.
So the appointment after all that happened, I actually had to have police escorts during my appointments from that point on because she was finding me at my appointments and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And so I had to have a police escort to make sure that she didn't show up to my appointments. But
Now,
in the last
was she
police
doing anything
escort I
to you?
had, I'm sorry?
Was she doing something to you while you were there?
The appointments that she showed up before, she would just show up and just start talking to me like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Trying to get information because we weren't talking to her at that time.
Yeah.
Because she was addicted to meth.
And she was working at the hospital?
Well, that from my understanding, that was part of the agreement was as long as she's clean, she could have a job there.
Oh, wow.
But she's not clean.
Are you still there? Or is that me?
I hear
you guys.
My last
I hear
appointment
you.
said that I wouldn't have to worry about her anymore, but he didn't explain why, and he we kept asking for more details and he refused to tell us. He just said, you won't have to worry about her anymore. So I don't know if they blocked her from being on VA property or if they fired her. I don't know what they did. They won't talk to me.
Yeah. Interesting.
And then the
now
phone number for the guy that's at Oklahoma City VA that's supposed to be taking care of all this pops up on my TikTok as Gucci Boy. In a
as
sports
what?
Gucci Boy in a sports car. His screen name's Gucci Boy. I'm like, wow, that makes me feel even better.
Oh man.
Never
Wow.
served a day in the military and your screen name's Gucci Boy.
Well, now, at this point, like you've been going through all of this, you're still trying to find somebody, right? Somebody to help you out and help push this stuff along. But did you get your records and things through the VA rectified? Has it been fixed? The marriage license and all that type of stuff?
Luckily, I had that stuff on me that same day. Something told me to take it with me just to be safe. And he was able to fix it that day.
Wow.
They haven't messed with it since, but I don't know if she still works there or not. So,
yeah.
But my appointments are still disappearing on the VA side. So we're thinking that she might have somebody working with her inside the hospital.
Yeah. Wow. Well, man.
And then they downgraded me from an internist to a PA, and my doctor left the VA because of the way they were treating me.
Oh, wow.
He quit his job and went to a different hospital totally.
Holy cow. Man, yeah, you've had a rough go with it all. It doesn't seem right to me. We definitely need to try and get you some help. So for somebody out there that knows, we need it.
The other important thing,
Mm-hmm.
at the time of my husband's death, he had 62 current and active medications, all by the same doctor, Dr. Singh of the Norman VA. 62 current and active medications, and he had insulin in the fridge that I'm not counting.
So was he taking all 62?
He was supposed to be.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a bit much.
And when they did the autopsy, we had been told this entire time that my husband was diabetic. I called the medical examiner, and the medical examiner says, no, your husband was never diabetic. He's on insulin. He's not diabetic, ma'am. Oh my God. He's been taking insulin for 10 years. What do you mean he's not diabetic?
Wow.
The VA put him on the insulin. Oh my God. Yeah.
You definitely need to get some legal advice for sure. Yeah. Well, we'll do what we can on our end, Jen. We'll put it out there, and hopefully somebody will pick it up and reach out and contact you, and hopefully we can work something out and get you moving in the right direction on it. I'm very sorry that it all has happened. It shouldn't have happened that way.
No, it shouldn't have. He died alone, and he didn't deserve that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. Wow.
He makes him a DNR, and then she's not even there when he dies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, like I said, we're going to do what we can on our end, Jen, and then we'll just see what we can do, and hopefully someone out there is going to help out and get us some help. And then if somebody reaches out to me, I'll definitely send them your way, give them your contact info and everything as well.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, Jen, thanks for coming on and sharing. This is important. People need to hear it. So, thanks for reaching out, and thanks for coming on and saying all the stuff. I know it was not easy, and I do appreciate you coming on and sharing, though.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Mike, Jen, thanks again. Truly appreciate it. If Mike, you got anything you want to say before I close this out?
No, I don't. I mean, I'm a loss for words at this point. So I won't lie to you. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, if anybody's out there that can possibly assist Jen, both on the HIPAA side and also on the legal side, it would be much appreciated. Just reach out to me here at the or shoot a comment or something like that, and we'll do our best to get that information to Jen, and hopefully we can help her out. But to all the listeners out there, if you're struggling and you need help, anything like that, don't forget the VA has some great resources. You can always dial 988, press option 1. You can always text 838-255, or you can go to veteranscrisisline.net and click on the chat icon. Any of those options will put you in contact with somebody that can help you out. But remember, one veteran life lost is one too many. I care about you. Mike and Jen care about you. The whole veteran community cares about you. So please reach out for help. And if you're out there, you're not struggling, reach out to a buddy you serve with, ask them how they're doing. If they need that helping hand, please give it to them. One last time, thank you both for being on. To all the listeners out there, stay motivated. Change your socks.
No more 22. Honor the journey and finish the fight.